Good afternoon and welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. This is Kristen and this is a layout video where I'm going to go through all of the layouts that I completed through the Scrapping Around the World with the Universal Yum Box. This is the scrapbook that these pages are going to go into. I have not put anything in here yet because I know sometimes with the videos you get a glare on the sheet protectors, so they won't all get put in here. I have to add some pages, but this is my Life is an Adventure. And I'll tell you something funny. I picked this book out not even thinking about the fact that I was going to be using the washi tape that says Life is an Adventure on every page. It was a happy coincidence. So here is where it's going to end up, and let's get started. So in the beginning, I did a video of the kit that I kind of threw together. I've never made a kit before. This was new. I had piles and piles of paper, tons of stickers, embellishments, just all sorts of different things. So this is mostly what I have left. I put all of the scraps that I already had in my scrap drawer of patterned paper of all the colors that I knew would be in the flags of the countries that I was scrapbooking. So it was red, white, blue, yellow, black, and green. So far, that's all I have encountered. And so these are the scraps that are left of my pattern paper. I did tuck some scraps of solids as I was going, but I did not start with scraps of solids in here. But this is what I have left in scraps. Some of these, I'm just not gonna lie to you all. This is all gonna stay in here together like this in my little bin, and I will find a way to use it all. This is what is left over from my papers. I do have a few other odds and ends here that I just got stacked up. There were a couple papers I did not use at all. Not too many. Let's see, all those are little scraps that I did use some of. I never found, I did actually think of it after I'd already done it. One of the last boxes we did had corn nuts, and I could have used this as a back page, but or not a matte page. I would never, well, no. I had some solids left because my goal was to try and use as many pattern papers as possible because I'm not normally a patterning paper. I had 2 of these in my kit, so I used one of those. I did not end up using this one. These I didn't end up using because even though they're white-ish, they were a little too close to off-white, and so I never pulled those in. I used another page from American Crafts that is very similar to this with the white and the black flowers. I never pulled this garden party in. I thought about this a couple times but did not pull that in. I had another travel set of pages that I got from a Facebook marketplace thing, so I ended up using that set and not using these. I did use some of this apple paper. Did not use that. I didn't have as much of a need for yellow, and I really had a hard time cutting into these Simple Stories paper, so I did not. And then here's a couple more that were yellow that I didn't pull. And I did use this only because I have more of them. And there's a piece of black. These are also scrapped back here in the back. So really, if you watched my original video, I used quite a bit of paper. So let's get started. I'm opening my little 12 by 12 iris case. And so you've seen all these pages, but I have added some things to almost every single page, and just put a little bit more oomph or some journaling. I went back and added these little gemstones, and those are Park Lane adhesive gems. I had like a multitude of these little itty bitties and then some bigger ones, and I just used those throughout. I also had some like pearl and opaque and things like that. So Greece was my first country. Blue and white is the flag. I just did a ton of layering, some banners. You'll see this Life is an Adventure on every page. You'll see these globes on every page. And I'm just gonna confess something. I have made a point of saying something about how the very first page had 3, so I just stuck with that. And as I was going back, I realized there are 4 on here. So, oops. Anyway, 3 was what I went with. So, you also see on every page this globe washi, this Life is an Adventure washi. You should see at least 2 or 3, usually 3 little gemstones in some form or fashion. A little piece of this Park Lane maps, text, and ledgers. This is grease cut out from a map, and you should see most pages have at least one of these Tim Holtz ideology things. And then every country should have this on it, except for the holiday ones, which I did not label. So that's what you're going to see on every page. And there's tons of layers, lots of colors. So here we go. So here's my first page for Greece. Just lots of layering. I added this globe. I did a fussy cut it out of a sheet of paper that I have had in my stash for, I could not tell you how long. Here is page 2 for Greece. And that also has been full of layers, maps, all the different good stuff is on here. I just like to tuck. I've been tucking, learning a lot about tucking and layering. So lots of pretty papers that I pulled. I really wanted to use as many pattern papers as I could. I do not very rarely ever use pattern paper. And so that was my goal, is to use pattern paper on every single page. I keep moving this thing, so I'm hoping that this is still in the shot. Okay, I used some inking to mimic the flag for Greece. More banners. Here's my little gemstones. Added some Tim Holtz on there. I really enjoyed using up tons of scraps. A lot of this was scraps in the first place. I used some pocket Project Life cards and tucked tons of little map pieces on there. I tried to use as many different mixed media as I could. I'm new to mixed media, and so I literally just took my ink pad all the way down the page on this one in blue, since we're still in Greece. I got my little gemstones here because the flag's blue and white, so there's some white. I got my maps, and there's some like text and stuff in there. I love this page. My mom's gonna kill me. It's just lots of layers of blue paper, patterned especially, and tons of scraps that I was, just sitting around in a bin. So this is us leaving Greece and moving on to Austria. Austria is red and white flag, obviously. I'm still stuck with lots of banners. I think I just kind of petered out with the banners as I went on, but these first couple ones I did tons and tons of banners, and I really love the way they look. But I didn't want my whole book to look exactly the same, so I mimicked the flag here with the red stripes and the white, but with pattern paper. Lots and lots of pattern paper. I got my maps in there. I fussy cut some flowers out of some really pretty papers and added this little pineapple because we were eating, it was a pineapple salted candy. Ooh, that was tart. So there is that. And then I trimmed my washi and cut it in half here, which I did a few times through the book. So continuing on in Austria. Oh, hold on, pages are stuck. Here we go. All right, more layers. There's no layout rhyme or reason. It is just literally finding the way that things fit good on the page. I put a foam squares behind this banner to kind of pop it up and make it give some dimension to the page. I use these little rose gold pearls. I did some more of the fussy cutting with these cute little flowers from the paper pad that I used. I literally used tons of pieces of scraps and just tucked them until the whole page was covered. I did some mixed media here with a new ink that I had just started trying, so it was literally just, let's see what happens. I did a lot of that see what happens here. All right, continuing on in Austria. This is where I did some embossing on all of these pages. This is like a shimmery white, and then these are Simple Stories papers. I love them. They're so pretty. I think it's Simple Stories. I keep getting Simple Stories, and I had a pad of Project Life papers too. Nope, Simple Stories. Yeah, not on that. I got them both around the same time from like Tuesday morning, I think. And so, anyway, so flat. I got lots of maps and my little gemstones. I just realized these do not have the little hearts on them, so that's something I need to remedy. I thought I was looking for that, but you know, when you have 9 million things on every page, like I'm doing this whole, you know, everything goes on a page, like the color patterns, and I have all these different things that I am using on each page, like the washi and stuff like that. It gets a little confusing. I went over these papers last night, and over the last 3 days. I went through this book over the last 3 days and made sure everything was on here. Well, obviously I missed some hearts. So I put these little hearts on all the Happy Yummies. I put a star on the pictures that were, you know, a couple people really liked it, or everybody kind of liked it okay. And then I put some little teardrops on the big time yuck. And here is the final page in our Austria. I did use my ink pad. It's a die, acid-free Stampabilities die. Bought that on accident. Didn't know the difference between a die and a regular ink pad, I guess, or I didn't pay attention. So I just used that. It looked really cool, and it is the kind of the concept with the flag. I used some of the remnants of my embossed papers from before to tuck in there. All right, now in between Austria and the next country was Halloween, and I just made a video for this the other day. Oh my goodness, here we go. This is one piece of paper out of a Kaleidoscope paper pad from Paper Studios. Yes, Paper Studios from Hobby Lobby. And it is one of my favorites because it is so colorful. And I was going to look for it, but it's anyway. So this was one page, it was a 12 by 12 sheet. I cut the blue and red out because you'll see that later on in the book. When you get towards the end of the book, I used a bunch of the little squares, rounded squares for different countries that were red and blue and yellow. And so I had cut them out of here, and this was left over, and I thought, oh, that looks kind of cool. I'm going to use that. And this is Halloween-y looking, and I had to scrap this one Yum Box trick-or-treating box that my sister ordered, and I ended up handing out for her. And so there it is, and I've got all the stuff on it that I'm supposed to have. I tucked in these little map. I pulled this one because it was like a predominant amount of the globe, and since this was from all over 6 different countries, I figured that that was the most fitting. It's got the little globes on here. The only thing this does not have is the Tim Holtz phrasing. So, all right, now the next country we visited was Spain, and I hope you know when I say visited, I mean we sat around my mom or my sister's table and tried snacks from the Universal Yum snack box. We were not traveling, because I would not be showing you all these pictures of just food if we were actually traveling. All right, I mimicked the flag again. I embossed this with my scoreboard and a tool, a scoring tool. I embossed this yellow paper, and then I die inked the stripes on the ends. This is a Project Life pad pack called Salsa, and there's quite a few of those in a lot of these pages that have from Spanish-speaking countries. I had to look up a lot of this because I work at a Spanish immersion school, but I am slowly learning very little. I've got all of my Tim Holtz on here, and cast of characters is super fitting. There's my family sitting around the table, and that is it for this page. I did have these, I think they're Jolie's, and it was on clearance. It was labeled Europe, and it had like Spain. I had one from Greece and the Netherlands and maybe one other country that we've been to that you'll see this little embellishment. I didn't want to over embellish because I really wanted to let the pictures be the most, the big focus, obviously. This was a scrap lift from something I found on Pinterest, and I did do a layout with this on YouTube. So it would probably be under Scrapping Around the World with Universal Yum Spain. So I link whoever it was that I scrap lifted this from in that video. I could not tell you right now who that was. So I did not do all of this on the video because that would have taken me forever, because I think it took about an hour to get all of these laid out and organized, only because I'm slightly OCD. So this is Spain. I use red and yellow all around with the hexagons. I've got the gemstones on some random places, just kind of to pull your eye everywhere, but really the focus is here in the middle where the white is, and the pictures of our big fat mess and the paella that I made, and my little Spain map. And then we're continuing in Spain, and here is the little teardrops for the yucky stuff. This was stuff that the majority, if not all of us, were like, blech. And there was a few things, the things that we didn't like in Spain, we really didn't like. The stuff that we really liked, we really liked. So it was hit or miss. So this right here is, and you'll see more cork throughout, came out of the Salsa Project Life cards. And it incorporated with some other ones. I cut this mango out on my Cricut because the spicy mango's there. Tuck some maps in here, tons of layering of red and yellow with a hint of green because there is a little green in the flag. And I did some tearing and some ripping with some of these pages, and it's just so freeing to be able to do that. All right, so trim this up here and put it down instead of just sticking it straight out. Did some journaling on this dulce card, which means sweet. These were some of the sweet, yummy things that we had from Spain that we really enjoyed. See, I remembered my heart's on here. And these are not M&Ms. They're, I'm going to butcher this. I think it's Lacasitos. Anyway, they look like M&Ms, but they're caramel. Nope, there was no chocolate. I don't think. It was all just caramel. Pop this little Hooray up on foam. This backdrop here is the Hooray paper. Love that paper. And I would tell you exactly who all these papers are, but I bought so many because Joann's had a big sale on their American Crafts brands and all the different designers. All right, so the hexagons you saw earlier, this is the negative from them, and you'll see some more of that as we go through the pages. But I pulled this because I saw another layout on Pinterest that had like something similar, but I did it on purpose. Like I laid my hexagons out when I cut them on my Cricut in a pattern on purpose so that I could use it like this. Put tons and tons of pattern paper underneath here. Cut these watermelons, fussy cut them out of an American Crafts paper. And then I put this one up on foam, and these are just tucked in because these are some watermelon sliced gummies that my son loved. All right, we've left Spain and we are now going to celebrate the holidays. And I never decided that I wanted to put anything on here. I may still, before I put it in the book, put something on here. But the holiday boxes had multiple countries, and this was 13 different countries. I don't have pictures from 2 of the 13, but I do have pictures from others. So I used the color pattern behind the picture for that country. So I do want a document on here, like this is from the Ukraine? Nope, not Ukraine. I have to think about it. Croatia, maybe. And Switzerland and Austria. So I do want to document that stuff on here, and I don't think I thought about that while I was putting this together, because these pages were pretty much done and I didn't need to do anything on them. So nice to go through these with you all, because now I can remember to do that. As I'm putting them in the book, I will write the country, even though it's obvious to me this is Switzerland, but obviously I had to really fight to remember which one that was. So I layered this up on yellow and white and blue. Layered both of these up on red and white because those are their country flags. This is like an apple something or another. So I just tucked some Miss Grossman's apples in there because I have a million of them. And so I need to use that stuff up. This is from Belgium. So see, it's already on here. I made this on my Cricut. The candy bar was a part of a Halloween pack. And I made this on my Cricut to say made in Belgium and the name of the candy bar. And then I cut this Germany out on my Cricut as well. And then this little thing here is from that Park Lane Maps, Text, and Ledgers. It's an 8x8 book, and I used a ton of it, not that you can tell. But one piece goes a long way when you're just tucking, just so you know. Pull these little chocolate bars off of some Halloween stickers. This is also from that Park Lane book. Made a heart shape out with the colors of the flag. And this is also from my Cricut. Put a little balloon on here because I was using this balloon paper. And that's about all, other than all the layers. I love the layers, but these already this has a country on here. This does not, so I guess I'll have to write on here that it's Germany, even though the country is like literally right there, but that's okay. All right, next we are still in our holiday adventures, and on here I put this map for the Philippines. That's what now I remember. So I put this map here from the Philippines because this is Filipino, gross. They're provolones or I can't remember. They're gross is what they are. Turned our tongues purple. This is from Poland, and I do have a little arrow pointing to Poland right here. So this is my rendition of the Philippine flag. I made it myself and pulled a sticker from Creative Memories. This is from the Park Lane paper pad. So there is that, and this was gross, so the little teardrops on there. And I think I have one more page for the holiday book. Yes, one more. Oh no, hold on. Okay, last page in our holiday book. This is from Spain. So I guess I do need to write underneath here because these don't have the maps under them. So these were from Spain. This was from France. This was from, oh man, I have it all written down. Don't worry. I can go back and look. And this is from Italy. And there goes my dog barking. It's all good. So, and this little salt shakers, because these were called saltas or something. And they were like pretzels stuffed with garlic salt. And they were nasty. Yeah, you could tell by my daughter's face. All right, moving on. We went to Poland. Polish sausage. Just, I used a grid here for this is just a remains from that other one from Spain where I did that. And I put these little mirrors on here because I was doing a challenge on scrapbooking with AnnMarie.com, and the challenge was the word of the day was reflection or reflective. I think it was reflection. And I pulled these out. They were in my stash for years. I don't even know how long I've had those, and these little stars too. And I put them on there because I thought this is about as reflective as it gets. Plus I was reflecting on this time because we started this in 2019. So we are almost 2 years in. This is like a little doily thing. I popped all the little circles out of it, and this one little square, it was this big. You will see, I think on 3 or 4 pages, like I used the heck out of this little buddy, and it just adds some, dimension and texture. I think it's really cute, my personal opinion. All right, moving on in Poland. Here we are. Look at there. There's some more of that lovely little polka dot. I put this little, it's a tag makers. So I got them in a little box. See if I can get it off of here. From Memory Makers, Making Memories. See, I've had these so long, I couldn't even tell you. Oh, 2006 is what it says on the back. Told you, had them so long. And so I never know what to do with them. So I know you're supposed to like put paper in there and make a tag out of it, and there is one of those in this book somewhere, but I just flipped them backwards and attached them down and tucked them because I thought they looked really cool, honestly. And this was still in my reflective page, so I just thought that really was neat. It was like a little pop of color. This is like, I think I created this to make a card once on my Cricut, and then it ended up not fitting in the envelope I had or something, so I just stuck it aside and ended up using it for this. We are still in Poland. Oh my gosh, I can't get these pages. Y'all are gonna kill me because this should be faster than this. Okay, here we go. Here we are in Poland still. This is called Monster Munch, henceforth the ghost on here. And I've just got tons and tons of layers and the maps on here. I gotta go quicker or we'll be here all night long, and y'all don't want that. I mean, I don't mind spending time with you all, but I am going to Disney World tomorrow. Here is the rest of that lovely little doily that, I'm not kidding, was the size of this red paper, and I have now put it across 3 different pages and drawn the whole Poland pages together. I did use this doily, which was in the same set of this. No clue where I got it. No clue how long I've had it. It was not in a package. It was just stuck in one of my multiple boxes of stuff. So this is the end of Poland, and at the end I have the remnants of what's left over on the table when we got done. What a lot, and more banners. All right. Oh, shoot. One more day in Poland. This is our games, and then this is the book and the packaging that are on. I do all these little crazy things. Anyway, and then I fussy cut these stars out of a Paper Studios, the Kaleidoscope book. You'll see a lot of that in here. And took these 2 Project Life cards and just doubled them up and put them on top of a text piece from that Park Lane book. Put some journaling down. I didn't even make a note about us playing Phase 10, but that's okay. All right, now we've moved on to France. We're in February 2020. Lots of red, white, and blue. Gorgeous colors. I used my new Distress Oxides on here, and I inked first, then I sprayed in my box and just let it dry. And I love the way it came out. I'm totally new to mixed media. More banners, more bling, more maps, and lots of layers. This was like a wallpaper almost. And you'll see quite a bit of this for the fact that I only had one 12 by 12 piece of it. Next page in France, more of this also came out of that Park Lane book. I cut Paris out of a little off one of the pages and matted it and then put it up on foam squares. I roughed this up over here because this is a yucky mushroom chips. Gross. I did have a mushroom to put on here, and it fell down on the floor, and I have no idea where it happened to. So yeah, we just have no embellishment there with our, the mushroom that was there. But if I ever find it, I will come back, pull this page out, and stick that bad boy on there. But I've had these little mushrooms for I don't even know how long, probably 10 plus years. And yeah, I got it out, matted it so it looked cute and stand out, and then it fell, and I think it went underneath my desk that I cannot lift. Okay, still in France, lots of matting. Big piece of it's only an 8x8, but I think almost the whole entire piece of 8x8 back here. It was a really neat page. It's got like postcards and stuff on it. I put a little ink up here because I wanted these Tim Holtz to stand out, and so I put some color behind them before I stuck them down. Matted my washi tape because it was going to blend in with everything. You can see through where the words are, and it was blending into that paper, so I matted it. In the future, I learned that matting it on a lighter color is a better choice. And then I took my marker pen, whatever you want to call it, and journaling pen, and just traced around all the pictures just to add a little extra. Here we are. All right, still in France. I tried to do like 4 pages for every country. So still in France. Last page, I just matted a ton of pages of pictures, put them up, and just however they would fit on the page well. Trying to connect some of these pictures with matching pictures. Got my red, white, and blue gemstones down here. And I've made some little notes along the way. I don't want it to look cluttered. I mean, this is a very busy page. This is like the only page, or one of the only pages, that this is like the only white you see. Like there's this itty little piece of the white background, which I used on every page. So, but I love the way it looked, but I wanted to put a little journaling in, but I did not want it to be overwhelming and tons of journaling. I wanted it to be just enough. And obviously I need to go back and add those few things that I already pointed out earlier. Now, March 2020 obviously ended up being a bit of a cluster. And so this is how we celebrated and did our Yum Box via Zoom. So I don't have a whole lot of pictures from our Zoom times, just because it's kind of weird to take pictures, and you will see because I have some pictures from it. Because we do it across the spans with my sister's family and my mom and my aunt and sometimes my best friend. It's not like it's just me and my family where we're all together. So this is pictures from Scandinavia. We had already gone to Brazil virtually. I don't have a single picture, so I've documented on here when we went. And then we did Scandinavia, and then the Philippines, I documented that, and the United Kingdom, I documented the dates for that, and journaled about COVID, how it changed our yummy business. But I've got all of that documented and lots of pictures. And then I just, the flags for Scandinavia are different, and there's like 5 countries in Scandinavia. I only had 3 of their flags on my little recollection sticker sheet, so I put what I had on here, and then just layered all the different colors from all their flags. I just layered. All right, so then next was Thailand, and this was also virtual, but I thought to take some more pictures of us actually on our Zoom, and some pictures of me and my kids trying nasty food. I apologize if you love Thai food. I like Thai food, just not these foods. Or if you're from Thailand and these are your favorite snacks, but they were not my cup of tea. Okra and some kind of a sushi roll thing. It was very weird. But that's okay. I just journaled about how we had such a good time, and changing our screen names and stuff was fun. My brother-in-law and my niece battled back and forth all the time and changed their names on here, and my brother-in-law is like, I'm not drinking bourbon, it's his name on here, so that's how that goes. All right, so then we finally got to get back together August the 29th, I think that says. Yep. This little paper's got the months down the side and then the numbers. So I circled August and I circled the 29th. And so this was Egypt. Map came from my Park Lane book. This came from the Park Lane book, all that stuff. Just did some layers because their flag is red, white, and black with a hint of yellow. So I added a little bit of yellow. Oh, I missed a page with the tape down. I got to tape that bad boy down. And just added some yellow gemstones, some goldy colored gemstones. And I knew I wasn't gonna have a lot of pictures because, like, getting back in the swing of being around people, I didn't take a lot of pictures. So I screenshot this, or I downloaded it off of the Universal Yum website and thought that that would be a good addition to my page. And this is just us socially distancing at my mom's house, still being super safe. Lots of layers. Then we moved into September, and this is Colombia. I cut this off of, they have a little pamphlet they give you. There's a book with papers, and it's got all the different foods that you eat and all that stuff. And then there's another card that fills out, and it's got like a scorecard and stuff, and you'll see that as I go. So I started getting these at this point. My sister started giving me all the goodies from our box, like the papers, and there's stickers and stuff like that. So I cut this out of there. And since I did this, I did not do the washi word for the country. This is one of those tag holders that I was talking about. I finally made a tag. Never done that before. See, new things, new things. This paper matches this matted paper. This is from that Park Lane book. I trimmed loosely around the country and put that bad boy down there. I have dated on every country when we did it, because let me tell you how hard it was for me to hunt down all that information. I have to go back through all my pictures, and the ones I don't have pictures for, I had to go through text messages. Whew. So people, what I'm going to say is take notes, take journals, write things down, document as you go, because it's hard when you go back and try and figure stuff out. Okay, so after all was said and done, I took some of the packaging from the different foods that we had, and I tucked them in on this page. This is actually the wrapper from this candy bar. So it was torn right at the B, so I tucked the little B over. This is a sticker that came with this little thing. It is not what this is, and this is not what this is, but they were packages, and this was the best page for them to fit on. So, and this is still leftovers from that first page I did in Spain with the hexagons. See, I know how to use up some paper, people. Here is more Columbia. This is the Yuckies. I pulled this off of that same card, so Columbia Rejects. And these foam, or this cork is from that Salsa Project Life book. So is this. I added the little red gemstone in the middle because it fit perfectly. I thought it was meant to be. And then I put this here because it would tie that cork in. These were the Yuckies, and this Besitos, if that's how you say it, were like egg-shaped cheese balls, and I love cheese, but that was not pleasant. All right, here is the card I was talking about. This is part of the card that we get when we do our boxes, and we write our scores down 1 through 5. 1 is yucky, 5 is great. My aunt likes to give a 0 to lots of things. Some bourbon my sister was trying, and my brother-in-law. And then this is just like an artistic picture I took with some of our packaging, the bourbon bottle, and this plate that my sister had written our menu, what we were eating that day. And more of the hexagons. See, I'm not kidding. I can stretch stuff. You don't even know. All right, moving on to Russia. This is actually, I was spraying a piece of paper, and this was underneath it so it didn't get like leak through my box. And so because it had these corners on it, it looked really cool. So I trimmed that off of the paper and put it down. This is another one of those pages that I totally covered. Red and blue and white obviously are the colors to the Russian flag. I tucked this little Russian map in here. And just did a bunch of layers. This is actually a tutorial, not a tutorial, it's an idea I had. This is what my marquee at school looks like. It's got our school name here, and then like the principal's name and my name and stuff down the side. And I was at work waiting for something and tracing out different sketches, and this is it. It looks just like this, but I had to turn it on its head. But that's the wonderful thing about scrapbooking. Okay, here is another picture from Russia. My dog loved the mushroom. Look, here's the mushroom. Maybe this is where I was putting it. Oh, bless. Glad to know that I found one. I did lose one under the table, though. So my dog loved the mushroom things, and so did my son and my nephew. This was some dill pickle puffs. We did not like. None of us. The second thing we all said blech to after those Besitos from Colombia. And here's some more red and blue layers, tons and tons of layers. These are barbecue chips, so I put the barbecue sticker up there. Orange crackers, I just put some little embellishments as I went along if I found things that fit. I didn't want to just stick stuff on here, but I did want you know, some stuff on there, you know, different things. So it wasn't just the pictures. I wanted embellishments, but I wanted them to have some kind of connection. So this is it in the whole 8x8 from the paper pad. This Good Food came off of the same thing as that barbecue sticker from before. Lots of layers. Here's more of that wallpaper looking stuff. This came from the Park Lane pad as well. This is another one of those layouts that I created because I was sitting around at work waiting for somebody to come pick something up. This is my cafeteria doors, and I laid it all out on this ombre paper and love the way that it looked. I took a picture of our scoreboard from Russia and the leftovers and all the packages and the Yum box and stuff. Just kind of being artsy fartsy. And then we went to Italy, back to virtual because it was too cold to be outside. This was November of 2020. And this is some tutorials that we did on scrapbookingwitannemarie.com. I inked up the sides with green and red ink pads and just cut a little piece off and put it down here. Used some maps and lots of red, white, and green layering. This All of Italy is the tutorials from Anne Marie. Took some pictures, made sure I had some pictures of us trying these yummy snacks. Here's the other one of those things from the Jolie's Europe thing. Here is another tutorial in the end of Italy. Here's our scoreboard and the leftovers after all was said and done. I've stuck this piece of paper in here. This matches this. It's from the Kaleidoscope Paper Studios book. Now this is the 2020 holiday box, and it is totally different from the last one because it was virtual. I didn't take pictures of every country, so I have these pulverons because I had made some of these for a friend, and this came in the box. This says Truffle Kerfuffle. They were supposed to send us this, but they sent us something else, and they were explaining it, and it's fine. Or they were supposed to send us something else and sent us this, so they send you this because what's in the book is not what's in your thing, and they have to send you the ingredients and stuff. And then I did lots and lots of journaling down here about why this is such a big deal, because kerfuffle is a word that reminds me of my grandma, and that was her favorite Judge Judy word. So I put that on here. This, like I said, this is another tutorial from Anne Marie, scrapbookingwitannemarie.com. So is this. Here's a little package from the whatever it was we were eating that time, had some kind of apple. It was like an apple cookie or something. Tons and tons of banners. Love to add the banners. Lots of the bling. Here's from a package too. There were like these little, I don't remember, but there was this duck on it and I thought it was cute, so I went ahead and cut that out. Then we went to the Netherlands, still virtual. This is February 2021. We did not get together in January. So this, all the banners and stuff is the tutorial from Anne Marie. I did the red, white, and blue gemstones down here. I didn't want to take away from the banners because I love them so much. And another one of those Jolie's things. And here's another page from the Netherlands. Our favorite goodie out of the entire box were these stroopwafels, and they were very yummy. Some journaling. This is another tutorial from Anne Marie. Now we've moved on to the Ukraine. This is not a tutorial. This is just me tossing papers. And then the beginning and that Halloween thing, this is what I was talking about. I cut these little pieces out to layer because the Ukraine flag is blue and yellow, and I did not have one of those. Lots and lots of the Park Lane papers, some pretty little gems in the colors of the flags. And looky here, some more of the hexagons. This paper is kind of throughout, and this is 3 pieces of paper that I had, and I used it on like 8 pages, I think. And I think I still have a little bit of it left. This was my son's birthday party at my mom's house outside, still being safe. But almost all of us were vaccinated at this point because this is in March. So that's why there's balloons on here, because it was my son's birthday party. My daughter in the daggone trunk because she's cuckoo. Here is more from the Ukraine, yellow and blue. I use more of these lovely little squares. I started adding some washi and some yellowy, and this is like a bluey green color. I just wanted to add a little something right here, and I thought that would be a good fit, and I used it in a couple of different pages. And of course added in my Tim Holtz and some little notes here and there. And here is another page from the Ukraine. And this is also from that Paper Studios Kaleidoscope book. These are just squares that I cut in half. And it was a big 12 by 12 sheet of the different colors. I just cut the blue and yellow out because I thought they were really pretty. There's my Park Lane book, some journaling. Don't look at my husband, he's flipping people off. Some washi, some gemstones. Just added all sorts of good stuff on there. And the last page from the Netherlands is our Yucky. I've had this border or this little frame forever, so I decided to just stick it on here. Even though it didn't fit right, I turned it sideways and it was fabulous. So put the little Yucky symbols on these two, because, or these three, because they were gross. This one was okay, but my nephew didn't like it. Added my little the Park Lane papers, some journaling, everything on there. And then we went back to Spain. This is May, so this was actually the April box, but we didn't get together. This is Mother's Day, so I used my alcohol inks, which this is the first thing I ever did, so you know, that's why it's splotchy and kind of crazy looking. And then I embossed the red stripes, and this matches the first time we went to Spain because I did them all together, so it kind of coordinates. The other one I did paper on the outside and an embossed yellow in the middle, or I mean I did ink on the outside, red, so but they're not together, so it doesn't matter. But this is from that Project Life cards, the salsa ones. Here is more Spain, and look, more the hexagon. So this is some of the paper that I used for, actually it's all the paper that I used to cut the hexagon, so it pulled it all together. And I just added some of this Recollections Fiesta stickers and one of the salsa cards, and wrote a little note about all of our favorites. And then this one also has a salsa card and some of that, the one side is getting heavier than the other. All right. Hold on, we're gonna have a big disaster if I don't move all that. Okay, so there is the, this also came from the salsa, the cork, because you've seen that throughout from the different salsa things, that Project Life papers. I'm gonna pull this stuff out that's left and set this aside before it falls on the floor and all of us cry together. Okay, sure, that could have been a disaster because I've got some little sequins over here too. Okay, so then I have some of the maps. I popped this Hooray up again. I don't know if you'll remember, but earlier on one of the pages, I did the same thing. I believe it was the other Spain box, and it was with my nephew. Let's see, lots of red and yellow layers. And then I have the yuck. This says disgusting in Spanish. I had to look that up. That's okay. I wrote down on here what yucky stuff there was that we didn't like. They're documented here in pictures. And then these little quotes by my mom and by my sister and my aunt about what they said about the egg chips and the goat cheese chips. And then I think this says continued in Spanish, or to continue on or something like that. And that's exactly what we want, is to move on, because ew, yucky. All right, and then the last page of Spain is more of the mango chips, or the mango gummies. They were hot and yucky. And this is just pictures of my family eating them. But this is the paper that was behind where I was doing some inking, and it bled on purpose. And so I used that as, I did the colors as the Spain colors so that I could use it as a backdrop. So that is the end of Spain. This is no bueno, which means no good. And then for our final country, we did this in the end of May, like the 26th, I think. I'll find that date somewhere here in a minute. And here's more of those papers, some of the gems. This paper you've seen a couple of times, and I fussy cut one of these globes. These are from that Paper Studios Kaleidoscope. More of the balloons. See, there's lots of stuff you just see over and over again. From Turkey. And then there's this one, more of the balloons. Like I said, this was my, oh, I didn't say, this is my sister, my mom's birthday party. So I commented on the things that we liked. These are coconut and coffee snowballs. So I put the little coffee cup there. These are little ice cream gummies. So I put some ice cream on there. And then I use these shiny, lovely little things that I found in my stash and have no idea where they came from and how long I've had them. I got a lot of that kind of stuff. Here is another one from Turkey, and their flag is red and white if you couldn't tell. I pulled more of these from the Kaleidoscope, and this was one sheet of this and one sheet of this is all that I used to do that. And then this star paper down here is also from that Kaleidoscope. And this is just me using up all the scraps that are left. This is like 5 different pieces of scrap paper that I just trimmed to where it would fit around the picture of my sister. And the corn nuts, see, that's where I could have put the corn nuts, the corn paper. And then this is the journaling that I did for Turkey. And here's a map from Turkey, some of the yucky stuff that we did or didn't like, and the date and everything. And then, that is the end of the countries. And then I did this one page last night. I did a YouTube video for it. This will be at the end of my book, whether or not I do more, we go to more, because I know we have 2 boxes that are waiting for us for when we all get back from vacation. But this was my family getting together on a Zoom call back in the fall, I think. And we did the I love yum exclamation point. And so I screenshot that and made this on my Cricut to say until the next adventure, and use this really cool paper from my, I think it's Well Traveled is the name of the book, with the recollections paper pad. I used scraps from what I hadn't used yet. I pulled in all the colors from the different flags, the red, the blue, the white, the black, the green, the yellow, and just finished it off with this. And then as I go in the future, I will do more and more pages and add them in as I go. So that is all of them. I cannot believe that this adventure has come to an end. I started this on June the 2nd, 2021, and today is June the 18th, 2021. So in 16 days, I went to, I don't know, 20 some odd countries and made over 60 scrapbook pages that I feel good about and love. I did sleep somewhere in the middle. Sorry, I'm trying to get all these pages back together now that the box almost fell over and had to rescue. So I feel really good about the way the book has ended up for now. There will be additions in the future. And I am just really excited that you all came along on this journey with me. And if you have made it this far in the video, then thank you for being so resilient and patient with me. I have definitely not ever done anything like this before. I've never really made YouTube videos. And so there are 60, I think it's 62 pages. Of some of the best adventures that I've taken at the dining room table. So I hope that you all have a wonderful day. Like I said, my family is leaving for Disney World tomorrow. So I will not be posting videos or anything. I know y'all are going to be so lost without me. But when I get back, you all can be certain that I will start a Disney themed layout extravaganza. And I don't know if I'll do layout processes or if I will do like I did with this, where I'll create the pages and then flip through and kind of talk about them. So just, you know, whatever ends up happening, maybe I'll do a little bit of both. So I did enjoy doing this with you all and going through all these different countries and reminiscing through all the fun that we've had over the last almost 2 years. So I hope that you have a great day, and I hope that you had a chance today to do something you love with someone you love. Happy scrapping.